Hello everyone. Today is 77 of our Dharma teaching on the Tantra of Manjushri-Namasamgiti. Today is the final one for the conclusion. 大家中午好，今天是我们五明讲经堂的文殊真实明经讲经的第77场，也是我们结束篇的最后一场，所以今天要略微长一点。Today, I try to give the outline of the Buddhism through the basic point of Tantra Manjushri-Namasamgiti. 那么今天我尝试着从文殊真实明经的概要上，对所有佛法做一个总结。Why we try to do this is a very huge challenge for me. Why? We'll give the final conclusion capture based on the whole Buddhism. Because the Tantra Manjushri-Namasamgiti, actually, this Tantra itself is a conclusion of all Buddhism, including the Mahayana, including the Vajrayana, also including some part of southern part, the Bali tradition. 为什么我们要做这样一个最后的这个非常具有挑战性的总结？因为文殊真实明经其本身就是对显密宗法的一个总结，所以作为我们的结行，我们要做一个尝试。Okay, let's start. Now, as a human, we give some topic. This morning with Steve about this. As a human, we live in this samsara world, and this samsara world just the minimal world of whole universe. We are the small one, the tiny one, and even this tiny one, including the 6 realms, and we are the human realms. We can say the other realm actually is just the animal realm. We can see it. 那么作为我们人这个人界，我们实际上是在我们现在的娑婆世界中处于人道。那么我们所能看到的其他的道只有动物道。But actually there are 6 realms, but other 4 we cannot see it by ordinary eyes. By ordinary eyes. That is God realms, Asura realms, human and animal, we can see it. And there's the ghost realms, and there's the human beings realm. 那么我们从6道的角度，就是天界、修罗、阿修罗界、人界、动物界、恶鬼道跟地狱道。那么剩下的4界我们都是没法看到。Even we cannot see it, but still we can feel it. Especially for a Dharma practitioner, we can feel it. Why? Because it's truly existence. But please take that reminder. I said truly exist is at some location which is set up by the specific time and specific space, right? So we can say 4 dimensions, right? Like this one, this one, this one, and that one. So we can say this term truly existed is a temporary one. This is the teaching directly from Buddha Shakyamuni. Directly from Buddha Shakyamuni. 那么我们现在讲的这些都是佛祖释迦牟尼佛亲自给我们的教诲。So how, when, and why they will give us those teachings? So this is a very long story, right? Buddha Shakyamuni is the number 4th Buddha in this, how to say, is that called? No, it's not arrow. It's another word. Yeah, you can say instead of that, arrow. But actually, I'm not to that arrow word. It's to, arrow means some kind of time, but it is not. This, the Sanskrit called xian means very long time. So this is including maybe several 100 million years. That's a Xian. The Sanskrit, we pronounce correctly, it's a Xian. Xian. Xian means very long time. But this current Xianji, the Buddha Shakyamuni, is a number 4th Buddha. And there's a final one. So it's a Maitreya, it's a future Buddha. But also it will take 100 million years. We have to wait. So this is the number 4th Buddha. We call Prince Siddhartha, right? Prince Siddhartha. Actually, Prince Siddhartha already got the Buddhahood, but as the teacher, he devoted this current life. Then he got incarnation as a human, as a baby. Then grow up as a prince. Then married, had a child. Then renounced all the family and the crown, all the wealthy, and then renounced as a monk to live in the forest of India, ancient India. And then finally he found out those kind of sacrifice himself to those teachings is not so correct. So he go back through that extraordinary ways. He found out and he declared he through the mutual way, the middle way, he got the final enlightenment. And at that time, he walked under the Bodhi tree and swear, I will meet the final nirvana. I will walk into the Buddhahood. Otherwise, I didn't stand up. So he do the meditation. Yeah, very long time. Actually, several days and night. And then, finally, after he debate the fighting from the demons king, we call Boshun, and Boshun's daughter, Boshun's son, and Boshun's father, said this all. Then he used this mudra to wake up the mother of the earth as a witness of his enlightenment. So this mudra we call enlightenment mudra, we call conquer mudra. And this hand we call meditation mudra, or we call samvaya mudra. By this mudra, he finally walked into the enlightenment and walked in the Buddhahood. Right? So he declared himself as Bhagavati. Bhagavati is a Sanskrit, means how to say the divine being who know everything. But at that time, he didn't want to announce his theory. No, it's not. Sorry. He didn't want to discover the final truth to everybody because he think that is too simple and that is too rare to understand. So the God Intro, the King of God, come down through heaven, beg the Buddha, give the teaching to all beings, including the God realms. Then can save all beings through this samsara world. So Buddha think about that and decide to give teaching. So the first to give teaching is that time. And the first disciples, we call five Arahant, because that 5 guys is formerly the servant of Buddha Prince, of Shakyamuni Prince. When Prince announced as the monk living in the forest, the servant and bodyguard also announced as a monk. They follow him. But at that time, they found out the Buddha stopped the sacrifice himself to those extraordinary ways. So they betray him. They try to live that way because at that time, ancient India always do this way, sacrifice himself, cut the fingers, or starving himself, or burning his arms like this. So they think the Buddha, Shakyamuni, stopped the practice, but actually he didn't. So finally, Buddha go back to fan them out, they show their respect to Buddha and then being the disciples again. So the 5 we call event 5. This is the first teaching from Buddha. And just after that very brief teaching, those 5 monks got enlightened, walk into the Arahant state. So this is the first give teaching. That place we call, I don't know how to call it. It's translated as the area of the veal deer plain. So in the north of India. Yeah, it's a first event place. And at that time, Buddha gave teaching focus on the divine saying of 4. I don't know how to say it. It's a divine 4, right? No, how to say it?
4 noble truths.
4 noble truths, yes, you can say 4 noble truths. Yeah. So this is the first one. And that one, actually, the human beings just 5 disciples on that. But there's a lot of, we call 80,000, the God realm beings gathering together in the sky to receive this teaching. And that is as a leader of, Bishaman, that Tanka, the king of God Sith. I don't know how to, God keeper, we can say, of heaven. The king of God keeper of heaven. So this is the first teaching gathering, we call. And at that time, all Buddhism believing this only 4 noble truths. There's no division, there's no separate. So we call, there's no other traditions. That is Bali. This is the first one. At that time, Buddha should be, it is said, should be 36 or 38 these times. Yeah, very young. And the second one is from 44. Somebody said from 44, somebody said it's 70. Because in ancient India didn't get a calendar, very specific. So it's just assumed like this one. They live in the, we can translate as the Divine Eagle Mountain. This is the second divine place. They gather together and give teaching. So this is the second teaching gathering. But at that time, also, the main disciples is the God realms, is the Arahant, is the Bodhisattvas, is the dragon, is the Garudas, or these non-human beings. Because even at that time, Buddha's teaching is not so popular among the ancient India. Yeah. At that time, it's not just the 4 noble truths. At that time, it's the thinking of ether. So at that time, actually, it's kind of Paraparamita concept just coming out, more advanced. So at that time, actually, the concept of Bodhisattva already got out. Because at that time, the main disciple is the Manjushri. The Paraparamita teaching already coming out. The third gathering is from some scholars said is 73. Some scholars said is 82. So at that time, Buddha is very, very famous for all ancient India, all ancient world. There's a lot of scholars announced as initial as the monks unknown. So at that time, the gathering most disciples is the monk. And the third time give teaching, main part not just like Paraparamita, ethers. He walked forward. He reached the concept of the light, the Buddha nature, the light. And he gave the idea that combination of your Buddha nature of your light, your Buddha nature light, and the Buddhahood Paramita. I don't know, clear or not. So it's combination. For us, we cannot just know, okay, Buddhahood is there. It's ether, it's emptiness, or it's perfect state. But we live as a very low level. So there's no hope at all, right? The third teaching so give us, we should combine them together. We have Buddha nature, and that Buddha nature is not the dead one, it's alive things. It can be vibrate of the light. And this kind of vibrate of light after a very hard Dharma practice. So that kind of vibration can be grow very stronger, very large, very powerful until we meet the Buddhahood and combine them together. And in that process, the vibration of your Buddha nature actually is the piece of Bodhisattva, like Bodhisattva is. So this is the fourth gathering. And just in that third gathering, Buddha show their form as a secret deities, not just as a humans, as a monk, as a secret deities like angel, raised in the sky and give teaching secretly to those bodhisattvas. Most of them is the non-human figures, bodhisattvas. So at that time, the Vajrayana arisen. So at that time, the main sutra, or we can say tantra, for giving this Manjushri-Namasamgiti. So the Manjushri-Namasamgiti, this sutra we give 2 years teaching about that, is the main keystone of the Vajrayana, and the main keystone, most important sutra Buddha gave at the third gathering. So the tantra, or we call sutra Manjushri-Namasamgiti, is the conclusion of all the teachings, because the third teaching gathering, the third teaching taught by Buddha himself covered the former twos. You know what I mean? So it's more mature. And at that time, Buddha Shakyamuni get a lot of incarnations as the angels, as the king, as the how to say Vajra. We can say Vajra deities. So give a lot of teaching about the, we can say word teaching or wordless teaching. Wordless teaching means he didn't speak. It's just a look at you, like a man transfer. Look at you and let you know what he wants to let you know. So we call high secret. So for our Vajrayana, there is a common teaching, there is a secret teaching, and there is a most secret teaching. So the most secret teaching, there's no words. Just by the ritual instruments, just by the lamas chanting, but the chanting you cannot hear the chanting in this way, or by some kind of touching. So you can get this transfer. Yeah. So those above three teaching, actually including all dharmas. So like the Chinese always saying that for the Dharma, there is the 84,000 ways to achieve the Buddhahood. You can choose whatever you want. Why? Because Buddha have very, very huge vision. He know everything the humans think about, or the non-humans think about. So give a lot of chance to all of us. whatever we have, different forms, different basic of thinking, or different karma situation. So it gives us a lot of choice. We call convenience method. But I should say it's a good character, also bad character. Good character is Buddha Shakyamuni give us a lot of choice to feed us, to feed us the situation. But the bad thing is, for our human nature, if we made a lot of choice, actually we cannot make final decision which one is best. So that's the situation now for the Buddhism. Not like the Roman Catholic or Christian or Muslim. It's just one book you can take, Bibles or Quran. You have no other choice. You have to choose. You have to read it. So you can confidence. You have to concentrate all your mind in this holy book. But for us, there's huge Dandra, there's a huge one. There's a huge one. Okay, maybe you announce yourself as a scholar monk, so you want to devote whole your life in the study. That's a great idea, but actually, the final result, you just become yourself, transfer yourself as a scholar, as a bandit. You just like as a library, because there's no time you practice by yourself. Too many books, too many ideas, too many things like that. The best thing is you lose yourself in the process of studying. Why? I will tell you the reason why. Because this is the Buddhism's most characters. When you walk into different levels, your idea just changed. Your idea just changed. For example, in the previous teaching, I said, what's the correct order? Is you should be take a look, right? You should get this hearing, get this teaching from all kinds of monastery, all kinds of Lama monks, all kinds of traditions, even all kinds of religions branch. Then, this is the first one. Then you go back home. Think about that. Which one is yours, right? And then, after you make your decision, you practice one of them. And keep doing until you get liberation. This is good method, right? So, we can say listening, thinking, and practicing. The three order, right? But if you are primordial level of your practice, those three kind of things is totally different when you walk into very high level practice. Why? I can give you some brief idea of that. For the Bali tradition, we call Arahant tradition. Why we call Arahant tradition? Because they think about the highest Siddhi is Arahant. They don't believe in human beings can achieve Buddhahood in this life. The highest one is Arahant. They think because of the human's limited vision, we just find out those samsara words captured by our eyes, the noise, the tongue, the smelling, the hearing, and even touching by your body. This samsara word is the empty things, because you can separate it. Right? You can separate one by one. Then until we find nothing. This is the idea from that one. They call how to translate it. They call this. They believe in this world is empty one, but they don't believe in the Dharma is empty. They truly believe in there is someone. They can call Dharma. They can call truth. Can be labeled as the permanent things. So they believe in the Dharma teaching is the permanent things. But this idea is totally different with us. Or Mahayana practice, or you can label yourself a Vajrayana practice. Actually, same. We have different ideas. And in the way of practice, those southern branch believing that I have told you, even they work very, very hard, renounce everything long. Still, the highest level is Arahant. Because they have no concept of Bodhisattvas. It's just Arahant Buddha. And they believe in, as the humans, they cannot achieve the Buddhahood. The highest one in this life, in this current human life, just Arahant. So the target is the Arahant. It's the Arahant. So what they should do, we can call it just stop and thinking. It's just a simpler translate as stop and thinking. What's that stop and thinking? Means I stopped the five senses. I didn't say, I didn't hear, I didn't smell, I didn't taste, I didn't touch anything. Like a piece of wood there. So I stopped all this samsara world movement. By this way, I walk into the semi-permanent things like Arahant. This kind of brief introduction. This is their practice. And some kind of them is and at that time, if they think about everything surrounding them, it's just the result of your five senses. So if you stop your five senses by yourself, so this world is stopped. Yeah, actually it's good. It's perfect idea, but for us it's not enough. But for the pre-model, it's good enough. Yeah. Actually, things just like that way. I've told you yesterday, like this world is the result of eyes. If you always close your eyes, close the five senses, this world does not exist because you cannot feel it. From your point, this world does not exist. But maybe from other guy's point, the world is still walking on. But there's no you. You doesn't exist, you die. No, it's not dying actually. Dying still works. Yeah. But they think about it like that way. So their idea is just stop. By their mind, stop five senses. And keep that state. Then, of course, your body gets improved, your body gets transferred. Then you can meet that Arahant state. And the Mahayana have a total different ideas. Mahayana believing the outside world actually is the same as the Bali tradition. We can just thinking this outside world is a temporary existence. It's not permanent one. It's not permanent one. But our practice is not just avoid this samsara world. Like them, it's just avoid. right? We just keep aside, just live in forest, live in the graveyard, living such things, solitary. Yeah, of course, we take solitary retreat, but it's not permanent. We take solitary retreat just to enhance our renunciation idea, just to train our human body and mind. We just take this time as a training, as a class. But we didn't take this as the final liberation method, as a bodhisattva practitioner. We take this idea, then we go back into the societies to save us, at the same time to save others. This is our idea. And this is one idea. And we also believing that even Dharma itself is not permanent things. Because the Dharma, all the Dharma teachings, even Dharma teaching direct from Buddha, Shakyamuni, we test the tools to help us to know the final one, to know final liberation, to know the ideas of liberation. But we should know this liberation we cannot describe by even any human languages. Maybe you are expert of languages. You can speak every languages, Latin, the Sanskrit, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, English, French, or whatever, blah, 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 Tibetan. But still, you cannot describe the final nirvana state that Buddha made it. You cannot describe what is their Buddhahood. What's that way? So that's why the Heart Sutra always say no, 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 because we cannot say yes, it is what. Right? This is the logic message. Because we cannot give the direct description of something. We have to say, this is not a cup, this is not a bowl, this is not a whatever it is, because we cannot say what it is. Because that state is beyond the limitation of time and space. We just can say it is not, like a Tibetan we call me. Me means not. Always me. Why? Because it is the things it is. So that's why Heart Sutra coming out. Heart Sutra coming out is a symbol of Paraparamita coming out. It's a symbol of teaching, of emphasis and ether coming out. So we, beyond the basic Four Noble Truths, we walk into the ether's concept. Ether's concept is beyond the Four Noble Truths. Why? Because Four Noble Truths just tell us, don't do something. But they didn't tell me why. Why I cannot do these things. Actually, you can do these things if you want to handle the karma as a result. Yeah. But ether is not that way. Ether means you can do everything. If you can always keep yourself, your man, into the state of ether. So that's why for the Mahayana or for the Vajrayana, we get those transference. Is that called transference? Transfer? No. That means changing. Transformation, yes. Changing one thing into other things. We will changing the meat into amita. We will change the alcohol and wine into amita. We will change, lot of things into amita. How? Of course, by the mantra. Om Sobhava Shuddha Sarvadhamma Sobhava Shuddha. Each time when we do the fire puja, I do a lot of these things. Why? We will change first the ordinary herbs, ordinary food, ordinary sugar and rice into a meter. It's a surface level. Deep level means we will transfer our 5 poison thinking into a meter. I feel jealous for Steve because Steve got a golden watch. I feel jealous. So at that time, I transfer that jealous thinking. I was thinking, oh, Steve didn't get it for showing, didn't get it for what. They try to catch up something. They try to do this like an offering, so blah blah, like this one. Just example. So by this way, we will transfer those poison thinking into a meter. By what? By mantra, by visualization, by your offering attitude, by your mudra power. So we call 4 powers, especially for the 5 puja, the very big puja level, very high level puja. So at that time we should do those ones, chanting, the mudra, your offering attitude, and your visualization abilities to transfer those things. But the basic theory is, how can you transfer this? Because they are emptied at the basics level, right? If this is a fixed, can be exist permanently, how can you transfer it? You cannot transfer it. The alcohol is alcohol. The meat is meat. How can you transfer into a meat? I can. So that's why we should do this mudra. Om Om Badang Om right? Each time I play your lords. Why? This is, we just transfer the ordinary wine into divine offering, and let the divine beings accept this offering from us. And the main purpose is not the divine beings, the Buddha, the angels, the Dakini, want to get this food. No, they mean nothing to them. They offer this food because this food, you already contain your jealous, your hate, your greed thinking within those things. Then by this receiving this offering, by the power of Buddha nature, we transfer this poison into amita. We transfer those ignorance into wisdom. We transfer our ordinary humans into Buddha. So remember, there are 3 transference. One is ordinary food, ordinary herb, ordinary meat, and ordinary organ alcohol into amita. Amita means energy, the pure energy. That divine person, that divine beings, like Bodhisattva, like angels and Dakini can receive it, like incense can receive it, because there is smell. Yeah, they take it like a food. Yeah, they truly take it. It's not just your visualization. No, if you burned by those sudden, by the 4 powers involved, it truly transfer into amita. So the divine beings in the Sanhoga Kaya can take it. They will feel very happy. They will give you bless. It's true. Then the inner thinking is, meaning is, they transfer our poisons, the jealous, the greed, the hate, into amita. That means, because when you feel jealous, when you feel hate, your human body just manufacture the poisons. Your brain just manufactures poison. Your liver, your kidney just manufacture poisons. And that poison make you sick and die. By this offering, when we do this mudra, when we do the chanting and visualization, you handle down all this poison thinking. You didn't feel jealous because you think, oh, I'm a luckiest man because I can pray for Buddha. I can get blessed at that time. So I don't jealous for somebody's golden watch or jewelry or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So you calm down, you cool down, the poison just gone. And that time you feel so happy. At that time, you feel so lucky for yourself. So at that time, very satisfied with you. You feel satisfied with yourself. Then you feel happy. When you catch up the feeling of happy, your brain manufacture, not poison, kind of liquid. I forget the name. It's some kind of lucky name for the medical. A kind of liquid. And that liquid make you feel very, very happy. Make you high, yes. Like you take marijuana. But you didn't. You just do the offering. So at that time you feel very happy. Because your brain manufacture this. And this, for the Milareba's word, we translate into English one. We call mew the cow. Mew the cow. Milk.
Milk the cow.
Cow.
Okay.
We are the cow. Your body is the cow. Milk the cow. When you feel satisfied for yourself, you do the puja for Buddha, Bodhisattva, angels, and this. You feel very happy for yourself. You feel, oh, I'm a lucky guy. Then at that time, the idea coming out, your brain manufactures some kind of blessing liquid. And that liquid make yourself very, very happy. But not just happy. Actually, for your physical body, you get fitted. So we call mu the call. This word we translate through Milareba's poison. No, how to say? Poem, right? Poem. Milareba poem. Yeah, this is a lot of point to describe that state. It's like, oh, I like a flying bird, like a flying eagle in the sky, like this. If you read that, you can, oh, that guy is high. Yeah, that guy is high. Just by meditation, just by do the offering. So, this kind of, second, you transfer the poison into Amrita. You transfer the poison into that blessing liquid. Third meaning is, if you can get this feeling, step by step, not just one time, step by step, keep doing this, you transfer your ordinary human physical body and your ordinary human thinking state, mind, into the divine subtle body and divine Buddha nature. But it takes time, not just one puja, two. So that's why we should keep doing. But why we can do this transference? That base is a Paraparamita, is concept. You must accept this concept. Otherwise, you are the liar. You declare yourself as a Buddhist. You say, oh, I can be a Buddha. No. If you refuse to accept the concept of Paraparamita. Because if you refuse to accept that concept either, Paraparamita, that means you cannot transfer your ordinary human life into divine beings. Through divine beings into Buddha. Right? So, this is very, very valuable concept. It's a Paraparamita, the ether. And this is the core part of Bodhisattva, of Mahayana teaching, including Vajrayana teaching. Yeah. Of course, there is a details teaching for those that, like I've said, you cannot just do one fire puja, then transfer immediately, right? You should accumulate. So that's why, as a Dharma practitioner, Lama, I didn't count it, but even now I count it. Tomorrow I should read 112, 111 fire puja through this center. Why we should count the number? Because it's accumulation. Yeah, some high-ranked Lama said to me, if you can accumulate 1,000 fire puja, a big fire puja, that means the night before the fire puja, you should do the smoke, you should do the chop, and so on. Then the next morning you do the fire puja. If you can accumulate such combined things as one, you accumulate thousands, you get a permit to Pure Land. And I trusted this word, so I should accumulate. Yes, I trust it from my heart. Why? Because this is a process, things, right? It's the whole procedure. Each time, you clean yourself. Like the old saying from Tibet, there's a joy. One guy hang on a rope, that rope bind the elephant's nose. How do you say? Nose. Drunk. I'm sorry. Yeah, drunk. Through the roof to the top of the mountain. At first, the 3 circles, the elephant is dark. It's very dark. That Lama always can this one. And then, to the middle level of the mountain, that elephant got bright. The upper body got bright. But 4 legs still dark. But that Lama don't need to go this way to light it up. It just a little bit late there. Then at the top of the hill, the mountain, the elephant, the dark part of the elephant just gone, disappear. All like the white elephant, very pure, very auspicious. And at the peak of the mountains, there's no elephant, there's no Lama at all, just cloud. So this is very good saying to describe the process of Dharma practice. So we should accumulate the number. We should accumulate the circulation number. Each time you come, you should write it down. Today I circulate 30 times, 30 circles. Next week maybe 50 circles. So we cut it down. Yeah, at least 100,000. Yeah. Then calculate. Yeah, I calculated. Each year, I chanting 30 million Om Mani Padme Hum at least.
30 million.
30 million. How can I calculate? I tell you why. Each week, I get 2 or 3 days. The minimum 2 days. Sunday afternoon, whole afternoon, 5 hours. Wednesday afternoon, whole afternoon, 5 hours to chanting. Each second, at least I chanting 3 to 10 times. Very quick. So the minimum. If I have spare time, I go 3 times. The Tuesday, I go again. So each week, I never stop. So each year, I get 30 million. So 10 years. I don't say 10 years. This temple I set up 3 years. So it's a 90 million. And before they're chanting a lot, we can calculate as 100 million. So now I get, what's that figure? Yeah, some part, right? Some part. But still it's not enough. I tell you, that would tell me, if you just by chanting the Om Mani Padme Hum, the number should be 2 billion. 2 billion. At least. Minimum figure. 2 billion. Just by Om Mani Padme Hum, you get a pass to Pure Land. Why I tell you this? It's just to give you some imagine what is the practice. Because if you get this number, you can divide your target to the small one, right? You think about, oh man, 2 billion times. It's very far. No, it's not so far. You calculate. You can say, oh, now I'm 50. So I used 30 years to done this. So each year I should chanting how many? Then each month I will chanting how many? Each week I will chanting how many? Then you can make your schedule, right? Maybe I choose one Saturday afternoon. or one Sunday afternoon, or some weekday night to chanting. Choose some place to chanting. Then accumulate. If you can schedule this, and if you can keep your schedule always successfully, the confidence will growing up. You didn't feel nervous, or you didn't feel pressure, or didn't feel stress, because you know you're always keeping to your target. Day by day, week by week, year by year, you have your confidence. You created your confidence into yourself. Because you know why. When you doing this process, your body you are giving response. Maybe during the first 100,000, you get some feeling. First meeting, you get something feedback. First meeting, 10 meeting, 100 meeting, each large number, you cross it. Your body give you response. More and more, you accumulate confidence. And more, you keep healthy. And more, you keep wealthy. So step. Going back. This is very, very good. And this idea is not just come from me. This idea is a conclusion for all kinds of high-rank lamas, high-rank monks. For 1,000 years, we keep this tradition. Just by this. Yeah. And that one is the practice. So as the result of this practice, we call fruit. In the Dharma area, we call fruit of those, just refers to the result of your practice. Then you can walk different level of bodhisattvas, one by one, until level. When you beyond this, you walk in the Buddhahood. This is the theory, it is. The idea is that by this kind of thinking, we just pour back to our own, the very far target is the Buddhahood. We pour it back to our ordinary life. If you just think about the Buddha life, Buddha nature, Buddhahood, you think, wow, that is so far. But if you think, I can chanting 100 syllables for a million times, then maybe I already walk into the Bodhisattva's level, for sure. Because if you can chanting 100 syllables for a million times, I'm 100% sure you're very, very healthy. Because the bad karma, you already cleaned it all. Even tiny one, I am told, is clean it. And if you can chanting 100 syllables a million times, the tumor, the inner fire, already get it. If you're chanting, immediately you can reach it out. There's no sickness at all. You always feel happy. Yeah. The good example is Milarepa. Yeah, it's not a dream. Milarepa is exactly the history finger. You can check it out. Yes, it's not just a story, not just a fairy tale, like blah, 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 blah. It's the human historical finger. Yeah, you can check it out. A lot of languages describe that story. Yeah, the movies, the TV play, always, yeah, see that, Milarepa. So you can know it. There's a good example. So this is our Mahayana's practice idea and the fruit. And for the Vajrayana, actually Vajrayana is one part of Mahayana. Actually, they are same, but for Vajrayana, we practice some convenience means, some special, more directly means to get the target of Buddhahood. We call convince. Yeah, convince means. So we call Eden. Eden means, Eden is a Tibetan word, means true yours, true yourself. So each one have your own Eden, have your own true yourself. So in your Buddha nature, in your heart chakra, as a basic, as the base of your Eden. Then live your Eden. For me, it's Manjushri, but Rastful Manjushri, Yamataka, living there. Yeah, the heart chakra. The throat is Guanyin. The Rastful Guanyin, Hiyagriva, horsehead Guanyin there. This is the Puba. This is Mahagala. It's Sangdoma, yeah, a lot. But actually, you can combine them together as a Amitabha, as a medicine Buddha. So it's different kind of, because from the point of Vajrayana, we said I is not just my name is Jiangyang Manju. My surname is Manju. Jiangyang Manju. No, it's not. You're not Jiangyang Manju. You should be. Your surface is Jiangyang Manju, but inside, if you practice well, it should be Yamataka. And that Yamataka is just the middle one. The core part is a Manjushri. No, Manjushri is not the final one. Actually, you are Hum. Hum, that word Hum. And the Hum is not final one. Oh my goodness, Hum is not final. What's the final one? It's a Hum. It's a Hum. Yeah, each day and night I realize. It's a home like this one. This is the earth. And above the earth is the water, like this. Above the water is the fire, like this. Ha. The Tibetan ha. Like above the water, above fire is this one, like a stick. It's a vent. Above vent is the moon. Above moon is the sun. Above sun is a nada. Nada means flesh. Above the nada is nothing. It's the ether. So you finally catch it out. You check it out. Oh, there's no I. There's no I at all. Even the 5 elements is the permanent things. Beyond the 5 elements is the ether. So this is the Vajrayana's realization, the practice. Because it's secret teaching, we cannot give the record. So I just give you some example of this. By this way, you always think about there's no I, Manju, there's no Manju, there's no Tanya, no Steve, no Kevin, no that. No. Actually, there's no us. We just different reflection of Buddhahood. We just formally, I try to use the shadow words, but actually it's not correct. It's kind of like reflection of the mirror. So Buddhahood is like this. We are the reflection inside the Buddhahood. But the reflection get different characters. So we have different forms. Yeah. And we have different nations, we have different colors, we have different styles, different languages, blah, 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 blah. We labeled, then separated. Because of the label, because of the separated, the karma coming out. Because of the karma coming out, oh man, we coming out differently, then this is the our work coming out. But actually, if you go back to home, everybody is the home. Maybe now, compared with you, I'm a little bigger the home, but still is the home. Yeah. But it doesn't matter the size, because finally it's just disappear. The ether, there's no size, because the size is the concept of space, right? The senior, junior is the concept of your time. But the Buddhahood, there's no time. There's no concept of the time. There's no concept of space. So it doesn't matter about the size. I'm powerful. You are powerless. You are a tiny one. I'm a huge one. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So for Buddhists, we should catch up the core point of this. If you can accept this idea, you will know that's just the process of your living. And your living just the precondition of the death. And the death just the precondition of another living. But for us, as the Dharma practitioner, as the religion's devotees, we should make sure the level is going up, not going down. That's the key point. Now, we are not so lucky, so we born as humans. We should make sure next should be at least as a God realms, maybe a little God realms, maybe just have 50,000 years. Then next life it should be 500,000. And then next one should be reborn as a Bodhisattvas at least, Arahant at least. Step by step, we should improve our existence of living. No, of life, not living. Yeah, existence of life. Then go beyond. But finally, there's no line at all. Because we already get out of this circle. Got liberation. For human, the death is the final things. It's the most serious things. And also, it's a good opportunity to liberate ourselves. It's the most valuable opportunity to label ourselves. So, keep practicing. Yeah. I think what I can give teaching is just this, because if I can give further one about Vajrayana is kind of some secret teaching, is some requirement for the initials or a lot of ritual ceremony involved. So what I can say is just to give you the brief one, like that home. When you go back or other radio listener, you can think about that one. Yeah, it's a very good example. You think about that. So if you can get some idea, you will know what's the structure of this words, what's the structure of the life and death, what's the structure of the life circulation, such as this. Then maybe you can catch up something. And I hope, I wish this kind of idea can improve your practice. Yeah, this thing can improve our practice. Because if you catch up that idea, that means you are already thinking about it. Then the rest should be doing this. Keep doing, keep walking. Then finally, we can jump out of this circle. That is the final target. If we jumped out of this circle, we got some enlightened. Yeah. I think that is the most emergency things for us, to jump out of this life circle. Then we have enough time, we have enough ability to prove ourselves to the higher one. Otherwise, what we can do is, is just a few things, because the time is the fixed, right? As a human, the maximum 100 years. 100 years just like this. It's gone. You cannot do a lot of things. Actually, as a successful person, you can do in this whole life just the several one. Good marriage, good birth to your kids, good education to your kids, look after your parents, good business to earn money. That's it. What you can do. The rest of the things, if you can do all of this successfully, you should pray for your long life to enjoy all of this. Good family, good marriage, good business, good money, right? But most of the circumstances is, if you can do this successfully, you almost run down all of your time, right? Yeah, you are a billionaire, but you have no health. You cannot do anything. You have no enough time. So what we should do is get a very clear idea and try our best to jump all of these life circles. That's the most urgent things, I think. Okay, that's all for today. Let's deduct the merit.